Hello, my name is Matt Franks, and I am the K-12 Assistant Principal at Juniata Valley School District. The COVID-19 pandemic has created unique challenges for school districts. Juniata Valley teachers and staff have faced these challenges with an open mind, keeping our students' education as a top priority. With the help of our STEM department, we have created a presentation that showcases the hard work that went into making the 2021 school year happen. Our showcase presentation will explore several of the new things that our teachers were able to accomplish this year. We are very fortunate at Juniata Valley to have hardworking, dedicated staff who put our children's education first. I hope you enjoy the presentation.
That's a great question. There are a lot of challenges, but the one that has stood out to me as a band director has been the lack of performing and enrichment opportunities for the students. So in all of the classes I teach, the focus is on making music together and enjoying music, and then ultimately sharing that music with others. And that's the part that's really been hindered by the pandemic. So for the bands, we often have 3 or 4 concerts each year, and those have obviously been disrupted. Often we have county band and district band and region band opportunities for the students where they can meet students from other schools and make music as a part of a larger ensemble. And those have unfortunately either been canceled or just really reduced kind of down to something very bare bones this year. So we are all feeling the loss of those opportunities and trying to find other ways to stay motivated.
Well, I think the first challenge was sort of wrapping our head around how all this was going to work safely. The planning was difficult with, at the beginning of the year, kind of switching between models. Now that we've been in the hybrid model for quite a while, it's becoming a little easier. Making sure that all of the kids had access to the technology, the books that we needed, and getting them onto Google Classroom so that the lessons, were effective.
I think you have to be flexible in the way you teach. I've had to change some of the structure of my lessons to be ready to either present in person or online over the computer. For instance, I can't really write notes on the board anymore. I have to be ready to have something maybe on a PowerPoint instead of writing it on the board, so I can show it to them if we're live or if we're on the computer, and I can screen share from there. So that makes it tough. You have to find different ways to not use up class time for something like quizzes. So typically I was a teacher that every 3 or so lessons I would give a quiz in class. Well, that would take pretty much a whole class period. Now when I see my kids 2 days a week in the current model, I can't really take that time for a quiz. So I moved to making online quizzes and those types of things. So it's just constantly adapting and kind of learning how to save time and be more efficient whenever you are actually here.
I think the biggest way that I overcame those challenges was communication. Communication with staff members, communication with the kids, communication with parents. Just getting a lot of feedback from everybody helped me, and I think even helped the parents and the kids and the staff members. We kind of just bounced things off of each other, and that just helped everybody all together.
I feel like the COVID has taught my students, and maybe some other students in general, but especially special ed kids, I feel like it gave them that meaning of trust, responsibility, accountability. And the biggest one was independence, because whatever I'm instructing, they have to find the materials inside the bag. And sometimes that's a feat in itself, but they have to find their stuff and be on the same page as I am. And it's been working out. But overall, I think COVID has placed an impact on education overall and making it like it's kind of like a just go with it model, because you have to be ready for anything at any given time.
For me personally, I think it's changed it actually for the better. It's made me seek out other opportunities and other ways for me to teach. I no longer will do what I had done before, which I think I had looked for other ways to teach. I do know that when I taught previously at a different school district, and I had taken a break for 5 or 6 years, and when I came back, I knew students learned differently. It made me look for ways to engage them that were different from what I had taught before, which was paper, pencil, book, maybe some online. But when I came back, I knew I had to find some new strategies. But this has just pushed me further to look for more interactives. We would call them interactives. So now I'm pretty much 100% putting interactives out there, having students create and or work with their hands on every activity that we can, whether it's filing their own taxes online or creating a simulation where they are taking out loans from the bank. So that's what we're doing right now is from here on out, interactive only instead of paper and pencil.
Well, I think I started doing this a couple years ago. I definitely have moved away from just like a teacher-based type of teaching strategy, where the teacher stands up and lectures and the students just sit and take notes. And I think it is now more student-centered. For example, one of my classes, I literally last week just gave them a survey. And of course, it was tied in with what my curriculum says I'm supposed to teach. But I said, what do you feel like you want to learn next? And we literally took a survey. And so I'm giving them a little more say in when we learn what we learn, and trying to keep them involved in the process definitely a little bit more. So they have some ownership with it. I mean, obviously, I still have to teach what I am supposed to teach. Like I can't just have them tell me, well, I want to learn this and just go with it. But it is definitely a little more student-centered while still trying to teach the basic curriculum. And then again, all the communication with Canvas. Canvas has been a lifesaver. And Google Classroom, Google Meet. Without that, we wouldn't be able to do any of our remote day stuff or our office hours. When they get stuck, they can, contact me on a Wednesday. And if they're really stuck, they can hop on to my office hours and we can meet one-on-one through the computer. And that's been helpful too.
I've used OBS Studio. One of the biggest challenges I had whenever we were here was there were so many kids quarantined at a time. There were some days that I'd have a class of 12, or should have a class of 12, and only 5 kids are there. Well, those kids are still, they're quarantined, so they're still responsible for the information, but they're not there for the lessons. So I started using OBS Studio, and I use a Bluetooth headset whenever I'm teaching. So I'll have maybe a note sheet or a PowerPoint projected on the board, and I'm speaking into the headset, so it's recording my voice, recording my teachings as I'm going through the lesson with the people who are there live. And then as soon as the lesson is over, I'll take that recording and I'll put the recording and the notes on Canvas, followed by the homework assignment. So if someone's not there, maybe they're quarantined or they're out for a few days, then they basically get all the instruction as if they would have been here in person. So I think that's been a really nice feature that I've used for that.
But I wouldn't have these strategies in place without the help of my wonderful team, which is Laura Byler and Amy Foster. And so I'll just finish with, as Henry Ford once said, if everyone is moving forward together, then success takes care of itself. So I feel like we make a pretty good team.